How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're doing a pretty obscure comic, if you ask me. This is Alan Moore's Cinema Purgatorio. It's not totally Alan Moore's. It's an anthology, and I bought it because of Alan Moore's name, and I gotta say, it really surprised me. I liked all the stories, all the backups, everything. It's a black and white comic. The main story, Cinema Purgatorio. It's Alan Moore and Kevin Nolan, the same team that brought us the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. But it's a black and white, and this is by Avatar Press, $6.99. This is issue 17. It lasted 18 issues, and you can get a collected edition. You could get a hardcover edition. You could get a bunch of different editions, whatever you could find. I like to get the floppies, and I have to say the floppies were hard to find. I got the first 10 issues or so when they came out, and then I've been tracking down the back issues. So this is March 2019. Okay, I just want to look at the date because I wasn't even sure. But these are the stories. This is Alan Moore's Cinema Purgatorio. Like I said, it's Alan Moore, Kevin O'Neill. I said the wrong name. Kevin O'Neill, the same team that brought us League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Code Peru, which is Garth Ennis and Raul Caceres. A More Perfect Union, Max Brooks and Gabriel Andrade. Modded, Kieran Gillian and Nahu Lopez. The Vast, also Christoph Gage and Gabriel Andrade, with special guest stars. And there's the letters. And notice there's no colors because it's in black and white. Jeez, it's kind of stiff, so it's hard to manipulate with one hand. I know people want me to get a tripod, but then I can't zoom in on panels and stuff. Okay, so here we have Screen Regrets. Sometimes I wish I was dead by Mount Avil. And this is Cinema Purgatory. That's the name of the movie theater, and it's like the afterlife. I always think of this. I get the same vibe as I would the Twilight Zone. Patrons go into this, and then they watch movies, and then the movie is something about the life of the observer. And it's really creepy. Sometimes it just gives me an old Twilight Zone feel, and I just love it. So here's guys going in. You don't see the narration. Here's the vendors in. Everything's designed to be like they got sexy girls working there, and it's supposed to be just like everything you want in a movie theater, but there's something off. So now this guy's gonna sit down and watch Hell's Angels, and it's and the patron is Howard Hughes, and it's the life of Howard Hughes and all the seedy details. This Cinema Purgatorio, it's like a deep dive into Hollywood. So one episode was about Tony Curtis, one's about Errol Flynn. One was about W.C. Fields, Groucho Marx. And you just hear, and a bunch of producers that I had to look up after I read it because I didn't know who they were. So you hear like all the dirty little Hollywood Babylon type of details. And I just love it. Oh, God, this is going to kill me. So this is Howard Hughes at like near the end of his life, just like walking around naked, a germaphobe. People have to hand him food at certain angles. And he's watching a movie. Here he is watching a movie about his life, meeting Rita Hayworth and all these people when he was a kid, disassembling cars. And it gave me some information that I didn't know about him. And here he is like crashing, and all the women he proposed to. And again, he's back watching the movie. I just think it's so great. I'm not going to go through the whole story. This is Richard Nixon. I don't know if that's true, that Richard Nixon was paranoid for him and orchestrated Watergate was partially to get back at Howard Hughes. I don't know if that's true or not. And then there's a little bit about he may or may not designed a pink elephant to distract Ted Kennedy as he went over the Chappaquiddick and it caused a crash. It's just all this. But here's the thing that got me is his death. He was in Mexico with attendants, and they were messing up, and as they brought him over the border, somebody accidentally or maybe on purpose OD'd him. It's just such an intriguing story. And oh geez, okay, just an intriguing story. And geez. So then you go back to the movie theater and his life, and it's just such a creepy Alan Moore. Like he when he wants to be scary, he could really, really creep you out. And this is Code Prue. This is Garth Ennis, whom I love. Did Hitman. He's big with the boys right now. He also did Preacher. And I find this to be a fascinating this should be a Netflix series. What it is Prue is an EMT in the world where there's werewolves and vampires and mummies and all the monsters. So like every time she gets on a call, they have to like, almost have like occult knowledge because it could be a vampire, and they're all citizens, so it's not like they're monsters that you have to kill. So it could be a merman or a werewolf. It's just such a cool concept. So here's a mummy. She's dealing with the mummy, and the mummy asks for her phone number. He goes, "Can I get your digits?" It's just funny. So yeah, here he is. Could he whose footfall heralds doom get digits? It's just funny. And this is like a guy that she broke up with. He's a cop, and he's regretting it because Prue is awesome. And it's just it's like a couple of pages but I wish it would be collected, and I wish it would be an ongoing series, and even more so, I think it would make a wonderful like Netflix series. This is my least favorite. This is Kieran Gillian and Mahu Lopez's Modded. What it is it's Pokemon Fight Club kind of thing. So, but it's like, instead of like Pokemon creatures, they're like demons. So it's like some sort of future where like demons invaded the earth, and for whatever reason these people learn how to control them. The art is great, and it's like street game. So there's a demon inside his skin that talks. So he sends text messages through his belly. It's just a lot of bizarre thing. So here they're escaping like hell. And this little girl has like these you swallow them and you get possessed by them. So here she spits out a glob and it breaks. The guy touches it and it breaks. And did I skip a page? Yeah, I did. It's hard to manipulate this comic. This like creepy little, I don't know, Pokemon creepy creature comes out and rescues him. And now somebody else makes another one, and they fight and they bet, and this one makes this weird looking armored contraption of millions of plates, and it's fighting this lizard contraption. And then all of her modded, as they call them, are defeated. So this one actually attacks the host, and she just messes up and sends them back to hell. Like I said, it's my least favorite. Okay, this one, the first 2 or 3 chapters of this, I didn't know what to take of it, and I found myself thinking about it, and I really love it. This is Max Brooks and Gabriel Andrade, A More Perfect Union. And where do you see what it is? So here it is, set in the Civil War. This is like a Monitor Merrimack Ironclad, and what's that? That's giant ants. So it is like Civil War era, but they're fighting giant ants. What a bizarre concept. This needs a movie, and this also needs color, because look at that detail. That would look awesome in color. So the last issue, they were bombing the giant ants from the coast of an ironclad, and they thought they had it, but now the giant ants are forming a bridge. They're attacking the bridge, and the giant ants huddle together and form like rafts. It's like they adapt to anything, and then they're attacking, and they're making it onto the ship, and they're ripping the ship apart, and all they have is high explosives, so they can't fire at them because that would blow up their ship. So here's the guys working in the coal in the boiler room. The water's pouring in because the ants are tearing apart the place. So they're just loading the cannons with like silverware and whatever just to blast them. They're resorting to handguns, fighting the ants. And he's like, what does he say? Lash the wheel, Admiral. The rear hatch might be clear enough to abandon. So he's saying abandon ship. He's like, belay that order, Mr. Jones. Signal the Montauk. So I don't know what's going to happen. There's only one more issue. And this one is Christoph Gage, a writer I really like, and the same artist for Perfect Union. This is The Vast. This is like a post-nuclear war, except the war wasn't done with nukes. The war was done with kaiju. So the Soviet Union and America and China, they've all developed kaiju weaponry, and they train the kaiju and they go out and fight. So it's like a World War Godzilla movie. It's a concept that boggles me that there's not a movie out already. And they broke into a secret Russian facility in the United States, and they find these kaijus trapped. And they're, you know, she loves the kaijus. She's like, they're just monsters. They're just animals that are being tortured. She's like, you want to free them? We don't know what the Soviets did to them. You know, they've been tortured their whole lives. But the point is moot. We got an order. We got to free them. So they free it, and they're destroying the facility. And then their kaijus are going to come. One of them, yeah, that's her kaiju. This one, when it came out of the egg, it bonded with her. She's a scientist, not a kaiju pilot. So she's the wrong person, and she's good, and she's soft-hearted. So, you know, it's definitely going to lead up to conflict. And there's only one more issue left, and I'm actually dreading the end of this because I like it so much. So here we got up. So Cinema Purgatorio, A More Perfect Union, Code Prue, The Vast, and Modded. And sorry to say, but Modded is my least favorite. I could do without it. You know, I don't like it. It's not even like it's my least favorite. I just don't like it. All right, so this is Cinema Purgatorio. It's hard to get these floppy issues. I think it's easier to get a collected edition, and there's a hardcover that I think it's like 1 to 9, and then the second hardcover is 10 to 18 because there's only 18 issues. And I highly recommend it. It's off the beaten track. It's bizarre. It's definitely for adults. So there you go with that. And such high concept, bizarre, off the line. I really love the concept of Civil War soldiers versus giant ants. My father always used to joke, you know, halfway seriously, said the ants are fascinating, and if they had human hands, they'd take over the world. So just look how clever they are. They're adapting to the strategies, and I don't think they're doing anything that real ants don't do. Like, ants do make bridges. Ants can huddle up and float in water. So it's kind of cool. It's not like they're making up science fiction ant powers other than their tremendous size. So I like this. I recommend this a lot. There you go. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to watch my videos. And thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you around. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Thanks. Bye-bye.